In this lesson, we're going to create a practice collection and demonstrate a real-world possible use for using it. See, there are times that you use a collection in conjunction with a very, very large array. Because in VBA, arrays are processed in order. You can't really search through an array. You have to go through the array, find the particular value you want. Now, using the end for statement, you can stop the for loop once you find it, but it could take you a while to find it if you've got a very, very, very large array. But if you made a collection with the index values in the array as the value and the key as a distinctive value, then you could use a key to find the item you wanted. For instance, say we had an array of colors, say 120 colors. We're working for some paint store, okay? And these colors, what's stored in the array is, say, the code value, so it might be a string, of that particular color that would be found in the inventory of the store. So if you wanted to find something, you'd have to go through a lot in order to find it. But now let's say, okay, we are going to do a collection of colors. And what our collection is going to have, for instance, is we can add to our color collection, say the first item on the array is a plain black. And then the next item on the array 2 is, say, more of a charcoal. So we can use the name of the color in the paint inventory for the key into the collection, the index into the array as the data value in the collection, and the array itself will contain whatever the code number of that color is for people to find it in the back room or the warehouse, or say if they want to specify it on an order form, if they need to order more of it. So this is actually a more practical use. Again, it requires a considerable amount of setup at the beginning. You'd have to have the array of inventory items filled. Then you'd have to create the collection. But as we'll see later on in the course, there may be ways to make this simpler. These colors could be all of the code values of records in a table containing the paints. So then you are simply reading through the table, and inside the table is a field with the descriptive name of it. That becomes the key. So the array is built by simply getting the one field value of all of the records in the table. Then the collection is built at the same time as you're putting values into the array by simply inserting the index and the code value. So how that might look, and we won't get into running the table, that uses an object called a record set that we get to later on in the course. But you could have a for loop with however big the table is. Let's say we already know it's 120, but here we would use a property of the record set. And what we would do is put into the array at that index value the value of the particular field, say the code ID. And then we could add to the collection the index value, and then the string value, which would be the color title, for instance. And you could do that through all of the items in the record set, and to be able to fill both the array and the collection at the same time. And this kind of setup, this array and collection initialization, could be done, say, in the load event of the form that uses that table as its record source. And then for any event procedure, any subroutine or function you write that works on that form, it would have available to it the array and the collection. And you could use the collection to find the index into the array of a particular individual paint and use that under any circumstances.